The same for the Brahma Purohited Mahabrahman. Paritava, Apramanubha, Vausvara. Paratisabha, Apramanasabha, Subhaktana. Anabraka, Vinyaprasava, Bratfala. Gods belonging to the place of infinite space, to the place of infinite consciousness, to the place of nothing at all, and to the place of the neither with perception nor without perception gods. They die among the neither with perception nor without perception gods and are reborn in Avicii hell. Thus they are reborn in the 5 destinies successively. Having seen that, the bodhisattva produces a mind of great compassion. I am of no use to these beings. Even if I gave them all the happiness in the world, this happiness would end up in sorrow. It is only by means of the eternal happiness of the state of Buddhahood and Nirvana that I can benefit everyone. How can I benefit them? I will use great exertion until I have obtained true wisdom. When I have attained true wisdom, I will understand the true nature of dharmas, and with the help of the other virtues, I will do good for beings. This is the virtue of exertion belonging to the bodhisattva. Preta destiny. Then the bodhisattva considers the pretas. As a result of the hunger and thirst that torment them, their 2 eyes are sunken, their hair is long. They run about from east to west to find drink, but when they approach some water, the demon guardians of the water chase them away with blows from iron rods, or, if there are no guardians, the water dries up by itself. When it rains, the rain changes into coals. There are pretas who always suffer from fire, like at the end of the kalpa, when fire comes out of the mountains. There are emaciated pretas who run around like madmen. Their bodies are covered with long disheveled hair. There are pretas who feed endlessly on excrement, spit, vomit, or the leftover water from laundry. Sometimes they go to latrines and stand on guard there waiting for impure liquid. There are pretas who are always looking for the blood of a woman in childbirth and who drink it. Their aspect is like a flaming tree. Their throat is like a needle. If they are given water, 1,000 years would not be enough for them to swallow it. There are pretas who break their own head, take the brains and lick it. For some pretas, it is as if they had the iron chains of the Black Mountain around their neck. Hitting their head on the ground, they ask for pity and take refuge near their guardians. There are pretas who, in the previous existences, spoke harmful words and made coarse comments to people. Beings hate them and look upon them as enemies. For all these faults they fall into the preta destiny and suffer all kinds of punishments there. The 8 great hells. The bodhisattva sees the 8 great hells and the 10,000 types of torments encountered there. 1. In the great Samjiva hell, the damned fight one another. Aggressive and pugnacious, they wield sharp knives and slash one another. They are pierced with lances and skewered with iron forks. They are struck with iron bars. They are struck with iron rods. They are thrashed by iron shovels and slashed with sharp knives. They are torn apart with iron claws. They are all covered in blood. Broken by these torments, they lose consciousness. As a result of their previous actions, cold wind blows on them, and, when the guards call them, they come back to life. This is why this hell is called Samjiva. When they revive, they again undergo the same torments. Beings who, in the previous existences, like to kill living beings, cows, sheep, birds, or other animals, or who killed one another for a field, a house, a slave, a woman or child, a kingdom or money, are found there. As punishment for all the killings they have done, they suffer thus. 2. The bodhisattva sees the damned in the great kalasutra hell. Wicked raksasas, guardians of the hell and worker demons, ceaselessly measure the damned with a black cord. With an iron axe they put them to death and cut them to pieces. They shorten what is long, they lengthen what is short. They round off what is square, they square off what is round. They cut their arms and legs, tear out their ears and noses, and cut off their hands and feet with a great iron saw. They amputate them and cut them up. They cut their flesh into pieces and weigh the quarters of meat. In the course of their earlier lives, these unfortunate people used to slander honest people and cause innocent people to die by means of lies, harmful words, malicious gossip and idle comments. Or else, as perverted officials, they were cruel, violent, dishonest and harmful. It is as a result of their wrongdoings and calumnies that they undergo these punishments. 3. The bodhisattva sees the great samgata hell where wicked raksasas, guardians of hell, take on all kinds of shapes. They become oxen, goat, horses, pigs, sheep, deer, dogs, foxes, tigers, wolves, lions, donkeys, big birds, eagles, and vultures. Having thus taken on the heads of birds and animals, they come to devour, gnaw at and tear up the damned. 2 mountains come together and a great hot iron wheel rolls in a groove on top of the damned who are broken into pieces. Then, in a hot iron mortar they are beaten and crushed like grapes or peaches that are squeezed, or like pressed oil. Their torn flesh is gathered into piles as on a threshing floor. Torrents of blood flow out. The eagles, vultures, tigers and wolves begin to fight over it. In the previous lives, these unfortunates had frequently killed oxen, horses, pigs, sheep, deer, rabbits, tigers, wolves, lions, donkeys and big birds, and so all these animals that harbor resentment against them take on their bird or animal forms and come to torment these damned. Those who have exploited their power to oppress the weak suffer the punishment of the coming together of the 2 mountains. Those who, out of greed, hatred, stupidity or fear, have not followed rules of good conduct, or even those who have destroyed the proper way and perverted the holy Dharma, suffer the punishment of being crushed in the groove of the hot iron wheel and ground up in the hot iron mortar. 4-5. The 4th and 5th great hells are Raurava and Maharava. The damned who are in these great hells have as guardians raksasas with heads yellow like gold. Their eyes shoot out fire and they are clothed in red cloaks. Their flesh is solid. Their gait is as swift as the wind. Their hands and feet are long. Their mouth utters evil sounds. They hold tridents and forked arrows with which they stab and hurl at the damned like rain. Carried away by their fear, the damned strike their heads on the ground and beg for pity. Leave us be for a while. Have pity for a while. Then the demons throw them into the burning iron hell, 100 yojanas in extent, and make them gallop there with whiplashes. Their feet are completely burned, their fat and marrow run in rivulets like pressed oil. The demons break open their heads with iron bars and the brains run out of their smashed skulls like cream from a broken pot. The demons slash them and cut them up. When their bodies are completely burned, they put them in an iron room where thick smoke suffocates them. These unfortunates push and rush against one another and wonder why they are being pushed around. But, just as they are about to find the exit, the door closes. Then they utter an unending great cry. In the previous lives, these unfortunate ones had traded with false weights and measures and given unjust sentences. They had not returned the supplies entrusted to them and had robbed their inferiors. They had tormented the poor, making them cry and weep. They had destroyed cities and neighborhoods, ravaged villages, killed and looted. In the perverse hatred against certain clans, they had called to them from near the ramparts, and then, by means of their tricks and deceitfulness, they had brought the people together and then massacred them. It is for all these crimes that they suffer all these punishments. In the Mahararava hell, the damned are put into gas chambers, they are shut in prisons or in dark smoky holes and gassed. Or else they are thrown into wells. It is for having stolen others.